How can you afford this thing anyway? You're like, what, 15? And of course she has to have a child already, it figures.
Crazy, right? Hey Rabbits, it's Trixie, and to be honest, I'm a bit scared of making this video. Talking to other people and especially other moms about how you raise your child is a bit like tiptoeing through a minefield. One wrong word, one wrong step, and you cross the storm of your life. And I understand. We all want the best for our children. Being a mom is a hard job. So when we hear something that we don't agree with, all the alarm bells start ringing. So I'll just try and ask you to hold your horses to keep your calm. All children are different, all parents are different, not everyone has the same life situation, and the experiences that we make are very individual. The only thing I want is to tell you my story, share my thoughts with you on a topic that means a lot to me. Feel free to offer advice, but please think before you spread hate and stay respectful.
But if you're so scared and you know that many people will disagree with your beliefs, why would you make a video like this? Spare us the trouble then.
Well, no, because this being a delicate topic doesn't make it one that we should keep silent about. I'm going to address some issues, yes, but it's important to speak openly about them. To speak openly about what it means to be a mom in general, because there's so much pretending going on. Seriously, watching most family vlogs here on YouTube makes me cringe. It is so obvious that many moms only show the nice things. No one ever makes mistakes. Everyone is always happy. Mom and dad are still together and never fight. Their children's favorite food is, of course, broccoli, and their poop smells like strawberries. Let me tell you, being a mom is the best thing that could have ever happened to me, but it's not all sunshine. Searching a YouTube channel that shows how it really is, an authentical documentation of mom life, all ups and downs included, feels like a treasure hunt. So just in case you're in the same situation and you want to know a good one, check out Sanna. Her vlogs are in German so that you can also improve your German skills, and in my opinion they are some of the best you can find on this whole platform concerning fun, relatability and honesty.
Mein Kind, das auf dem Couchtisch sitzt, ein Stück Schokokuchen in der Hand hält und Fernsehen guckt.
And in general, Sanna is a really cool person. So link in the description, not sponsored or anything, just a tip from my side, pay her a visit if you like. But back to topic, why am I saying this? Because today I want to talk about one of those things in a mom's life that are not perfect and bear a lot of potential for conflicts. I want to tell you what it means to be a young mom in Germany. As you may know, I have two beautiful daughters. Considering that I'm currently 26 years old, that makes me a pretty young mother. Not young, but young. I'm still young. I'm young. I'm so old. I'm young. What I mean is that I'm quite far below the average age of other German moms. In Germany, most women are 30 years and older when they have their first child. So having two children at the age of 26 pretty much makes me a freak of nature. And as it is with everything and everyone out of the ordinary, negativity and prejudice are just around the corner. Don't get me wrong, there are not only bad things to mention. Most people, German and non-German, are great. They make us compliments about how we handle our family life. Many of them know us and our attitude. While I totally understand and accept that many people simply don't want to have children, I have been a family person all my life. Growing up as an only child with my stepfather barely talking to me, hardly knowing my real father, always kinda thirsty for love, I knew I wanted to do this differently. I wanted to have at least two children and give my heart and my soul to them. A partner by my side that feels the same way. Which totally matches my boyfriend Eric, who comes from South America, where family means everything. He's also the biggest huggy bear that I know and basically born a loving daddy. So the people saying nice things or offering well-meant advice know that we, seen individually, made the right choice. They trust us and encourage us and see the same advantages that I see. When you have children at a young age, the mindsets of the generations will be closer together. You as a mom or dad still know what's up and you're still relatable. You're not only mentally but also physically younger, and therefore able to run and jump without limits to climb trees with your children. Your body's health is at its best, and you will still be around for quite a while. To be with your kids, see them grow up and come of age themselves, and maybe even long enough to meet your grandchildren and grand-grandchildren. I've had lots and lots of very lovely and inspiring conversations like this. But there are also many critical voices, mostly coming from strangers that only see what they want to see. To spread awareness and to maybe give foreigners and also other young German couples a head start of what to expect after having children, I decided to share my experiences. Not in a judgmental, but in a this may happen but you've got this kind of way. So what makes me as a young mother different to a mother at a higher age? Being out of the average, what is the criticism that I have to deal with and how do I cope with it? This is what I can tell you from my very own individual experience. The prejudice basically starts from the moment that you become pregnant. While close family members and friends were happy for us, I got to hear some very weird comments as well, mostly behind our backs. Ho, that must have been an accident. I wonder if they really thought about what that means. They are so going to regret that. Only 23 and her life is over. One friend even asked me, and are you going to keep it? Definitely not going to start a discussion about abortion here, but considering that I shared the news in a very joyful manner with her, that was totally confusing. All in all, many people in our social environment doubted that we were happy with our decision. And then there were the ones that doubted us. You know, these people that picture everyone below 30 as immature, fickle, naive, and irresponsible. But believe me, you can have a more mature mind in your 20s than many people have when they are 50. It's the experiences that you make, the attitude and personality that you have. Your age doesn't automatically define who you are and what you're ready for. But that's nothing that those people want to hear. To them, you're a child having a child. They want to see you fail, overwhelmed by your new responsibilities. You decided to have a child in your 20s? Well, congratulations. You suck and your life is over. It wasn't explicitly these words, but I've heard things like that more than once. Which makes me wonder, what is it with this point of view that so many people spread that having a children ends your life? Becoming a mom or a dad doesn't mean that you don't have a life anymore. It's a different life with shifted priorities, and yes, it can be very tough. But why is parenthood always depicted as a break that you have to take from your own life? There are so many matchlessly amazing things about it too. Kids do take certain parts of your life away, for sure. But shouldn't we instead focus on how they also enrich it? As a family person deciding to have children, why not say, it's finally time to start my life? But even if it isn't our mental immaturity or the threat that our lives are about to end, people still complain. Now mostly about financial or materialistic things. Don't you want to find a better job first? Make more money, buy a house with a garden, buy a better car. Don't you want to have a swimming pool? And what makes me angriest about these aspects is that people simply assume that we don't have much money just because of our age. Just because we are young, we must be broke. One day I was riding the bus with my friend who had her daughter at the age of 23. She had her with her in a buggy, and the buggy was from a popular high-quality brand. Pretty expensive, but it was a gift from her mother. Another random woman was annoyed by the size of the buggy and said to her, "Oh, I hate these people buying these huge expensive buggies and then squeeze into a bus. You think you deserve more space because you're something better owning this designer shit? How can you afford this thing anyway? You're like what, 15? And of course she has to have a child already, it figures. Crazy, right? Apart from that, I kinda see a point in this whole money debate. At least I agree up to the extent that, yeah, living under a bridge is not the best foundation for raising a family. But then again, babies don't need the newest designer clothes and the most expensive toys. They don't need tons of money, they need tons of love. As long as you can provide your children with the essentials, with what they need to be happy and healthy. Millionaires don't make better parents. For me, it was important to have enough money to buy the basics and some nice things every now and then. You know, a healthy balance between living and spoiling yourself. I wanted to have a place with enough space, no matter if it's a house or a flat, as long as each child could potentially have its own room. And I wanted to have a car. Mostly for the sake of convenience. But at the same time, I totally think and accept that many others may be satisfied with much more or much less before they are ready to become parents. And that's the crucial point. It's not about the money in the first place. It's about feeling ready or not. You are too young or you don't earn enough money are not good reasons for not having a child. Especially when you're not saying that yourself, but others are saying this about you. I don't feel ready, on the other hand, is. No matter how old you are. Be it that you're 18 or that you're 40. Deciding to have a child should be a matter of the right feeling, not of your age and not of your bank account. Of course, there are edge cases in which I might also say, honey, don't you think you should wait a couple more years? Or, hey, that's cool, but you should maybe figure out your job situation first. But still, who am I to judge? I can only tell them, maybe, and trust that they know for themselves what's best. Now, before I share some personal stories, I want to stress that around 80% of encounters with other moms are completely friendly. It happened that some people mistook me for my daughter's big sister instead of her mom, but that's no big deal. I understand, because especially when I don't wear makeup, I do look very young. It's a slightly awkward but completely harmless and funny situation. Since we moved to Frankfurt, I was able to find many friends that also have kids. And even though there is something between 5 and 12 years years older than I am, we get along well. The only thing that I noticed is that one or two of them like to give their advice to me, but struggle taking mine. Not because they don't like it or because they disagree with me. It's just visibly uncomfortable for them. Like an I'm the older, so I should be the wiser kind of thing. It slightly pricks their pride, I guess. But I don't blame them. It is a bit strange. On the other hand, I also sometimes find myself fighting against something like an inferiority complex. On certain days, no matter how hard I try to pull myself together, no matter how nice the others are, I cannot help it but feel a bit inferior to the other older moms. But I think that these two phenomena are completely normal. They're natural and human, and nothing to be concerned about. That said, there are some weirder and slightly offensive experiences I made as a young mom. Mostly when I meet other older and wiser parents taking their children to the playground. Yep, this time I'm talking about the nasty, prejudiced kind of encounters. One thing that seems to be a problem to some people is the way I speak. And I admit it, sometimes the language that I use may sound a bit juvenile. Let's say my daughter finds a pretty stone and shows it to me. Then I may say, boah, ein cooler Stein, der ist ja mega schick. Boah, cool, mega. All words that could be described as youngster slang. And yeah, maybe that's not the kind of German that I should teach her, but these are just exceptions, and at least it's a heartfelt and genuine reaction. Still, one day another mom felt the urge to confront me. Sprichst du immer so mit deinem Kind? Soll deine Tochter nicht mal richtiges Deutsch lernen? You can already sense a tinge of disrespect by her saying du instead of sie. We didn't know each other, but since I'm so young, I'm obviously a child, so du is completely fine. So she said that, followed by, you guessed it, another wrong estimation of my age, and more mumbled accusations. Does she have a point? I don't know. But I am who I am, and I don't see that this is doing my daughter so much harm. It's just a cute way of speaking to her. And personally, I think it's way more ridiculous when parents force themselves to speak super correct German to their toddlers. Sehr gut, Sibylle Christine, das hast du ausgezeichnet gemacht. Eine Glanzleistung, Christoph Heribert. Next aspect, I admit that I don't always dress my daughter that pretty. Not ugly either, but sometimes the colors don't match perfectly or she looks more like a boy. Sorry cutie, but pretty simply isn't my #1 priority. I am aware of that, but I was not prepared for how much this triggers certain parents that you meet outside. Oh, poor cutie. You have to wear the old clothes from your brother, huh? Yes, somebody actually said this to my daughter in my presence. And then this lovely mom turned to me asking if I couldn't afford a new set of clothes for a girl. I was speechless. The truth is that I got most clothes for my daughter from my friends. Some of them have girls, others have boys. So the wardrobe of my child is a wild, colorful mix. But I simply didn't see the point in buying new clothes. As a baby or a toddler, kids don't care about girl or boy clothes. Their clothes should be warm, comfortable, and convenient. That's all. In my opinion, everything else is a parent thing. They want their children to look cute, and I understand. But I don't think it tells anything about the quality of the parenting itself. And in my perspective, it kind of fails what should be the purpose of children's clothes. My daughter has never been the typical princess, so why would I dress her like one? She loves to run and jump and play outside in the dirt. Everything is always full of mud and grass stains, so I have to change her a lot. Her clothes get dirty, they break, so what would I have from spending lots of money on designer brands? When my daughter and I go to the playground, we're in for the fun, not for winning a beauty contest. So as I said, my daughter is pretty wild. Which leads me to the next aspect. Kids who run a lot fall a lot. And in general, I don't worry that much anymore whenever that happens. There's always this moment where my daughter falls and then looks at me. Of course, when she cries right away, I know it was bad and I would never hesitate to run to her and comfort her. But when she's just down and basically waiting for my reaction, I'm not one of these moms that are super sensitive. I would rather say, oops, what are you doing on the floor, cutie? Or, huh, what happened there? Have you been so excited that you stumbled over your own feet? You know, instead of, oh no, cutie, darling, is everything all right? Come into mommy's arms. Where does it hurt? Do you want to have a cookie? Do you want to go home? If you ask me, in cases like this, the mom's reaction defines the severity of the accident. When I react in this jokingly fashion, my daughter usually laughs. Then she gets up and keeps playing. If I would always run to her, eyes wide open, shaking voice, she would get scared too and assume, oh, I'm in danger. But the way we handled it so far, my daughter runs a lot, she falls a lot, but she barely ever cries. She's a mini human tornado, and a tough cookie, and I'm very proud of her. Of course, I would never give her the impression that crying is for the weak. Whenever she needs a hug, I'm there, and in general, we cuddle a lot. But you know, I would say that we are on the right track. We achieved this together, and it worked very well for us. However, this is my approach, and I would never judge other moms for handling things differently. There are always many reasons for this or that. Children, moms, and dads are not all the same. It's just the way that I chose because it makes a lot of sense to me, and I can say I'm very happy with it. There is just one problem. Sadly, I've experienced that many other moms perceive my behavior as negligent or careless. And I'm pretty sure that's also at least partly because of my age. Because it matches their picture of a young mom that wasn't ready to have children. The kid falls into the mud, they don't care at all, they maybe even make a stupid comment, and then they keep browsing their smartphones, taking selfies, messaging their friends. My child? Over there, I think. But what I do and why I do it is not the same at all. Still, they believe in their own truth. Their looks tell me everything there is to know, and I've heard them talking about me behind my back. Did you see? This little girl just fell and the mother didn't even pick her up. See, this is what happens when children have children. I'm not sure which inner conflicts they are actually dealing with when they project their hate and insecurities onto me, but it definitely hits the wrong target. I may look like I'm 15, but I'm 26. And my daughter likes to get up herself. She simply doesn't want mommy's help all the time. She's amazing. And then there are many little things. Other parents judging us for speaking English and Spanish, for example. They don't see that we are raising a trilingual child. They just assume that we don't speak German and make stupid comments. They judge us for taking too many pictures of our daughters with our smartphones. Oh, generation smartphone. They cannot even keep their phones in their pockets when they're on the playground with their children. Well, guess what? We're taking these pictures because we love our children and we want to capture beautiful moments. You know, our family members and friends don't live in the house next door. Most of them don't even live in Germany, which makes a photograph much more than just a picture. It means pure happiness to all the loved ones that cannot see us in person more than once a year. But yeah, complain. Complain without ever questioning things. Complain without thinking out of the box. So I guess the moral of this story is having children at a young age in Germany and mostly also in other countries means that you have to deal with prejudice. Not often, but sometimes. With random accusations that you're immature, irresponsible, poor, or sloppy. No matter what you do, people will see what they want to see and kind of make your age responsible for everything they think you do wrong. Which is why it's so important that you trust in yourself, in your own gut feeling, and surround yourself by nice people. People that see how much you love your kids and not just your age. Now I'm very curious how you think about this topic and which experiences you made. Are you also a young mom or dad? Maybe even younger than I am. I mean, I'm 26 already and I have these struggles. So I can imagine that, for example, teenage moms must have it way more difficult. Are there differences between Germany and other countries? What's your opinion about becoming parents at a young age? What advice can you give? One last thing I want to mention. Even though I complained a lot, I know that young moms are not the only ones that have to face stupid accusations and unjustified criticism. I bet that parents that are older than average, parents with a migrant background, homosexual couples, men and women that choose a life without children, and many, many more have their own troubles and negative voices to deal with. Stereotypes, ignorance, unrealistic social expectations, and prejudice are everywhere. So in general, I hope for everybody that you find the best way for yourselves, that you manage to ignore the hate and stay strong. On this note, I really hope that you enjoyed my video, that it was interesting and fun. If so, please leave a thumbs up because that would make me really, really happy. As always, feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Here is another one of my videos that you may want to watch. And remember to check out Sanna's channel if you like. Now, my throat is sore from all the talking, so all I'm gonna say is have a nice day, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye!